What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the attic. Today I've got predictions for UFC Fight Night Royval versus Kape. Dana only gives us the best for Christmas, so this one is going to be at the UFC Apex. I know I'm a little behind getting this video out to you guys. My car decided the best thing it could do yesterday was explode, so I had to take care of that, but I'm back up and driving. We are going to keep this one short, though. As always, we're going to start off with a review of last week's events. It all got started off Friday morning with one Fight Night 38. We found two wagers on that card where we went 1-1. The first one netted us 1 unit of profit, and the second one we lost 4.87 units for a total loss of 3.87 units for a negative 19.48% ROI. Not a great way to start, but we did make a pretty good comeback here. Later that night, we had PFL Mena. These little PFL cards really don't offer us a whole lot, so we only had one wager on this one, but Islam Reda cashed for us for plus 1.5 units. After that, I waited all night for Karate Combat to delay 6.5 hours, but we don't bet on any of that, so we'll jump right into the UFC card. We had UFC 323. We found 14 wagers on a 14-fight card. We won 10 fights, lost 3 of them, and we made 8.25 units of profit for a 17.5% ROI. As always, I closed out the week by accepting the weekly bonus. I don't know what week these bonuses are attributed to, but this one must have been a few weeks back when I didn't bet anything because I only got $1 for a 0.18 unit boost to the bankroll. Anyway, we closed out the week at $585.10, so 1 unit will be $5.85 this week. 1.5 units will be 8.78 units. And with 2 cards coming up, man, I am really hoping to finally cap that $600 mark. That gets us all caught up on the finances, so let's jump into predictions for the last card ever of the ESPN era. This card's going to start off in the women's flyweight division with a battle between Jamie Lynn Horth and Teresa Bleda. We're trying to make quick work of this card, so I'm not really going to go over the ages, the height, the reach. You guys can see all that stuff. But on this one, we are going to talk about the fact that Teresa Bleda has had a 910-day layoff. That's a long time. The reason for this layoff seems to be a very stubborn staph infection. She had this bout with Jamie Lynn scheduled before in the past, as well as another one, both of which she withdrew from because of this staph infection. Obviously, with such a long layoff, we've never placed any bets on Teresa in the past, but we did take a bet on Jamie Lynn as a very substantial favorite earlier in the year against Vanessa Demopoulos, and that bet cashed. This time around, 2 of the 3 models are very close. The first one has Jamie at a 60% chance of winning, and the other 2 are just teetering either side of 50%. But with 2 of the models leaning Jamie Lynn's way, I picked her up as a plus 119 underdog for 1 unit. I'm going to speed run the betting strategy for anyone who doesn't know yet. In this case, we're betting on Jamie Lynn because 2 of the 3 models agree that she's going to win this fight. She's a plus money underdog at the books, so I bet 1 unit. If all 3 models had agreed on her, I would be betting 1.5 units. If she was a favorite, then I would be betting enough to either return 1 unit or 1.5 units if all 3 models agree. Hope you understand. Good luck. The next fight on the card is Alan Fry versus Guilherme Pat. Nobody knows how old Guilherme is. Skipping this fight, on to the next one. Fight 3 is another WMMA fight, this time at bantamweight, between Melissa Croden and Luana Santos. Look at that. Croden's older, she's taller, and she's got a little bit of reach. She's making a quick turnaround. Wager history, we've got nothing on Croden, even though she's making a quick turnaround. I have no idea why. I'll look it up real quick. All right, I checked the last video. Turns out we just didn't have an age for Melissa, so we didn't place a bet on her. Luana, on the other hand, we did place one bet on her earlier this year as a minus 135 favorite, and she won against Tainara Lisboa, which is also who Melissa Croden beat her last time out. Predictions this time around are very one-sided for the most part. We've got Luana Santos at 82%, at 60%, and then somehow all the way down at 50%. The models are all over the place here, but Luana Santos is a minus 141 favorite at the books, so I placed a 2.12 unit wager on her to return 1.5 units with a win. Next up, we've got a men's heavyweight bout between Sean Sharaf and Steve Asplund. Sean is 4-1 as a pro. All 5 of his bouts have individually taken place in different promotions. This will be his first time having a fight in a promotion that he's fought in before. His UFC debut, he got knocked out by Junior Tafa. Never really a good sign to get beaten by those guys. Asplund will be making his UFC debut. He was signed after a 16-second KO on the Contender Series. We did bet on Steve Asplund in the past, LFA, PFL, wherever the hell he was before this, as a minus 800 favorite, and ended up cashing that one, fortunately. This time around, Steve Asplund is pretty heavily favored by all 3 models, every single one of them between 61 and 66%. He's a minus 205 favorite at the books, so I placed a 3.08 unit wager on him to win. After that, we've got a welterweight bout that sees Neil Magny taking on Yaroslav Amosov. I've got no wager history on Amosov, but I do have wager history on Neil Magny. This dude is an upset machine. Lost the last wager on him when he lost to Jake Matthews and then was given a freebie to try again. Dude ended up winning the second time around. Weird ass fight. Before that, we bet on him to upset Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, and we ended up winning that one. Overall, taking a massive loss on the dude. Might get even worse this time around, because this time he's a plus 300 underdog, and all 3 models are 65 to 71% in favor of Yaroslav Amosov. I bet 6 units on Yaroslav to win 1.5. I hope Magny gets absolutely shit stomped. Dropping down for a featherweight bout between Melsik Bagdasaryan and Joe Anderson Brito. We've got wager history for both of these guys. We bet against Melsik Bagdasaryan and won that fight. We bet on Joe Anderson Brito as a minus 205 favorite, and he failed us greatly. No worries, though. The models have us doing it again. They're not incredibly confident in him, all between 51 and 55%. And unfortunately, Joe Anderson Brito is a minus 270 favorite at the books, so it'll be expensive. It's going to cost us 4.05 units to potentially profit 1.5 if he wins. We've got a women's strawweight bout after that. It'll be Jillian Robertson and Amanda Lemos. This one has a pretty sizable age gap, just something to take note of. Also, Lemos is making a pretty quick turn at only about 3 months. Pretty decent wager history between these two. We took Jillian as a minus 310 favorite and cashed that one. We bet against Amanda Lemos twice, both times as an underdog. The first time she got an upset and cost us a little bit of money. The last time out, Tatiana was a pretty big favorite over her, and we did cash that one. This time around, we've got the models very close all over again. This is really a trend today. 2 out of 3 prefer Jillian Robertson here, but the most confident of all the models lean to Amanda Lemos. We don't yet deal in confidences, though, so we will be taking Jillian Robertson as a minus 163 favorite for 1.63 units. Tapology has more than half the fights listed as being on the main card, but this is where it all starts for me. Kennedy Nzechukwu and Marcus Buchecha at heavyweight. We've got wager history for both of these guys. An old fight from Kennedy that was canceled, and then we successfully predicted the upset when Walter Walker went on his heel hook string against Kennedy. For Buchecha, we also predicted an upset here against Buchecha when Martin Buday took the win. This time around, the models are extremely confident in Kennedy and Nzechukwu. One of them as low as 55%. The other 2 are above 65%. Kennedy and Nzechukwu a minus 150 favorite at the books. I want to return 1.5 units with a win, so it cost me 2.25 units. By the way, Buchecha's not extremely experienced in MMA, but he does have an incredible BJJ record going back well more than a decade. This fight right here is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. It has extremely high potential to be fight of the night. It's Melchizael Costa versus Morgan Charrier at 145 pounds. This will be Costa's fourth fight this year. We've bet on all three of the fights so far. We won as a small favorite. We lost taking his opponent as a favorite. And we won again taking him as a favorite. He's currently on a 4-fight win streak and looking to make it 4 this year. Morgan Charrier, on the other hand, we took his opponent as a small underdog and cashed, took his opponent as a bigger underdog and failed to cash that one. Charrier has got 4 performance bonuses in 5 UFC fights. Predictions on this fight all lean to Melchizael Costa, and so we picked him up as a minus 105 underdog for 1.58 units. Our next bout takes place at middleweight between Cesar Almeida and Cezary Olenjaychuk. I can only imagine that that's Mikhail Olenjaychuk's brother. Younger brother? Sure looks like it. They're both from Poland. He's 25. I don't know what his age matters. It's probably his brother. Who else has got a name like Olenjaychuk? Anyway, Cezary won on the Contender Series with a 36-second TKO, so it's pretty exciting to see him make his UFC debut. Almeida's only loss was a split decision to Roman Kopylov. Anyway, no wager history for these two. Almeida's been away too long, and Olenjaychuk's only spent time in smaller promotions. We'll be taking Olenjaychuk in this matchup. All three models like him just a little bit. He's a minus 200 favorite at the books, so it cost me 3 units. The co-main event on this card is a featherweight bout between Giga Chikadze and Kevin Vallejos. We've got pretty decent wager history here. We bet against Giga Chikadze and won. We've bet on Kevin Vallejos twice, both times as very substantial favorites, and won both of those. This time around, it's really no surprise. The models love Kevin Vallejos. They're very confident in him all the way up to nearly 70%. He's far less expensive this time at only minus 285, so it cost me 4.28 units to return 1.5 units with a win. Closing out the night in our main event, we've got Brandon Raw Dog Royval taking on Manel Kape. Little bit of wager history for these two. We predicted the Joshua Van win over Brandon Royval, and we were unsuccessful in predicting an upset against Manel Kape. This time around, we've got all three models in favor of Manel Kape, the bottom one being damn near a coin flip, but it still likes him more. Kape is a minus 280 favorite at the books, so I spent 4.2 units on him to return 1.5 units with a win. That's all the wagers for this card, so let's have a quick look at the totals. We've got 12 total fights on this card. We found wagers on 11 of them because we don't know how old some dude is that's making his debut. We've got 9 of those 11 as favorites, 8 of them confident picks. The other 2 predictions are underdogs with only 1 confident prediction, and that underdog is damn near a pick'em anyway. This turned out to be a pretty cheap card for as many favorites as we picked up. It only cost us 33.18 units, and our potential ROI is 47.3% for a profit of 15.69 units. That's it for this UFC card. I did already lay wagers on PFL. You can check out the Patreon if you're interested in those. That's all I've got for you this week. Like and subscribe down below if you haven't already. As always, thanks for watching and good luck on all of your bets this weekend.